Greetings everyone, this is Elizabeth with the Fairy Stamper video design team. I'm excited today. We're going to use quite a few Fairy Hugs stamps, which can be found at the Fairy Stamper store, which will be linked down below. And these are the ones we've got, and I've already pulled them off of my sheets, ready to go. And we're going to use daisies. Super cute floral one. So I've got my daisies, and then we're gonna use azalea. Okay, she's like a little thinker one going on there. We're gonna use the rock formation. Okay, and then we're gonna use the two small critters. One, the small squirrel out of the set of 3 squirrels, and the small bunny out of the 3 bunnies. So I've got all of these little cutie patooties ready to go. And if you want to follow along, these are what I'm using to colorize the card. I've got 2 shades of blue. Okay. I've got a gray, well, a darky gray, not black. And this step you don't even have to do if you don't want to. The black part, when we get there, you'll see why. And then my array of color pencils. My flower, I've got a purple, an orangey red color, and a red color for the petals. And then we're going to use some gray and white on the critters, some browns on the rock, and some greens on the leaves. And then I've got a highlighter color, and then a glitter pen just to add some extra fun stuff. So I am doing an A2 size card. This one is going to flip open this way because we need more real estate for that big beautiful flower and our little rock formation. This is my card base, so that's going to stay here, staying clean. So the first thing we need to do is ink up the panel. And oops, we're going to use our 2 shades of blue. Now, breakup blue for me is a darker blue, and then the clear skies is a brighter blue. Oops, let me scooch these back just a little. Okay, and since my card is going to go this way, the flower's going to be here, and the rock formation is here, we're going to ink blend top down. So we're going to grab our clear skies. We'll start with the lighter one. Okay. And we're going to come in here. And I can kind of see that my rock formation is going to be about here. So I don't need to come all the way over. This part you don't need to do, but I think it'll deepen our rock color. So I'm going to go ahead and do just a little bit of this smoky gray. And we are done with that guy. Put those away. All right, and of course we do need a nice black color, and because we're doing a colored pencil, it doesn't matter if it is waterproof or alcohol resistant. And the rock formation is designed to go like this, but I need a flat area for my critters, so we're turning it upside down. And of course I don't need the whole thing, so I am just going to ink up the bottom half of it, which then becomes our top half. And I'm just using the VersaFine Clair in Nocturne, and I'm just gonna kind of aim for my white area, which I need to add just a little bit more. Okay, aim for my white area, get that in there just like so. Nice even pressure. You can definitely use your stamping platform, which I will pull that out to stamp the fairy because I need to position her just right on the flower. Okay, ooh, look at that. So wonderful. Okay, so we'll clean that off. So the leaf we want close because we want her sitting on the leaf, but we don't want her toes in the rock. So we're gonna tip that up just a little bit. And that might be good there. It's kind of nice about all the clear stuff, you know, your clear acrylic block, the clear. Oh, there we go. We're gonna back it up so it's not so close. And then she'll be able to sit on there. So I know that I'm gonna have that there. Hopefully I can hit it. And a stamp positioner would definitely allow you to get it in the exact place you want. But I'm gonna rebel and not use it until the last little girl. Get this all nice and inky. Not sure how much of that's going to show, so we'll ink that up too. And if you find that you've over inked, super easy, just wipe her off. Sometimes it happens. We get a little excited with our stamping. Try not to get your fingers in it though, because that's when it will really show up on your page. Let's get those out of there. Okay. So we can see through our block. We can see it's nice and inky. And remember, we were going to pull it away a little bit. Have the leaf up a hair. And we're just going to set her down right there. And I should have inked all the way down. Well, that's a shame. Let's see if we can't re-ink that and get it stamped again. Get this picked up so you can see. I totally missed that whole section right there. Oh, doesn't that look nice though? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this the best I can. I'll be right back. All right, so it's all nice and clean. So now I'm going to we're going to look at this, and it is going to be that flower, that piece, and part of that leaf. So we're going to ink those up just like so. And we're going to eyeball it right over where we need it. And because I have that loose up at the top, you can kind of set that on there. And cross our fingers we did good. If not, we can try and cover it up, or just do it again. The paper has a backside. Not the first time we make a boo-boo like that. Probably won't be the last. That's not too bad. It's got a little overdoing going on there. We're just gonna take that with a grain of salt. Let's grab our black marker, and we're just gonna fill it in. Come down. Just make that wider there, because sometimes this happens and you're like, maybe this is the last step and you don't want to throw it all away and you're not sure what to do. Just connect the areas. Just connect them up and color them in. Nobody needs to know. Maybe this one is just an extra detailed line going on. Just color in both sides. Let me bring this up a little bit so you can see, like right here where it comes out a little bit. I'm just gonna follow that and then bring it on in and just connect it. And where it double stamps here, just bring it down, color it in. For the most part, that's not too bad. And then right here, just color in these double lines. Nobody's gonna know. They'll think it's part of the stamp. Just color them in, just like so. We're good to go. Okay. And this is good for anybody that doesn't have a stamp positioner. If you have a boo-boo like that, just grab a thin pin, especially if you're doing colored pencils. It doesn't matter what state you put that on, but say you're using markers, you can color it in first and then go over the top with your black pen if you're not sure if it's compatible with your inking. And look at that. I have a black smudge. Ooh, black smudge. You know what? We're going to cover that up. Let's grab... What do I have? What do I have? Maybe a little fairy friend we could put there. I think it would be this one here. Yep, we're just going to put a little fairy friend right over it. Maybe she wants to join in the conversation too. And that's all we got to do. We find something to hide those. Oh my goodness. I've got black here too. What on earth is going on? That's all right. You know what we can do with that? You're like, you can't hide that. Well, yes, you can. So I've got god awful black mark there. I'm going to ink up the tip of this little rock right there. Oops, I inked up the wrong side. There we go. We're going to ink that up. And we're going to add some more rock right there. Ta-da! Well, heck, that looks pretty good. Let's ink up on the other side too. Right? So it will look like we did it on purpose. Ink that down right there. Ta-da! Heck yeah. This is what I tell you, me and the black just don't get along. It always wants to get way up into my business. Okay, so let's clean and I'll be right back. Okay, we got that all nice and cleaned up. We're going to pick up our little fairy. We're going to move our little rabbit here. Get our little fairy. And of course, I put the ink away and I'm not done with that. That's part of my problem. Let's not touch anything else. We're just going to tap that. Make sure it's all nice and fully coated. Okay. Then we're going to make sure we cover that line right up. There her is. All right. Give that a little wipe. I'll clean that up later. Put her over there. Now, before we do the bunny and the squirrel, I need to place her on here, like she's sitting on it. Now, this is a point when a positioner is going to be fabulous because we want her bottom to actually touch the line of the leaf, and we want her foot, okay, because she's got 2 feet. We want that back foot to touch the leaf, but not the front, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to place this in our positioner. Now, in my positioner, I have a piece of acetate, transparency, anything clear and flimsy, not too thick, packaging. I mean, you can use pretty much anything to get that part done. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my paper in the corner. I'm going to put my acetate in the corner so everything's lined up. And I'm going to check her foot, her bottom. And I want that to arch a little bit more. So maybe just the heel of her foot on there. Make sure she's not in the flower too much. There we go. Nope, that foot. Okay, we're gonna try right about there. Now all you're gonna do is you're gonna pick it up, okay? You're gonna make sure that acetate is in the corner exactly. You're gonna double check your card, okay? Make sure that's in the corner, make sure that's in the corner. And then we're gonna stamp her bum. I'm not worried about the rest of her. I just need her bum in there. Her little tootsie and her bum, okay? And then we're gonna pick that up. Okay. And I'm gonna put this back in the corner because everything decided to shift. Because, you know, the stamp is sticky. Everything's sticky. Oh my goodness. Just cooperate. Okay, and we can see we were close, but her bum is not quite touching exactly where I want it. Okay, so we're gonna give that a little wipe. We're gonna wipe her off. And then we're gonna try again. And the great thing about this is if you use your positioner to stamp the flower, stamp the rock and all that stuff, you can stamp your flower on all the cards you're making. Then you go through and stamp your rock on all the cards. And then again with your little lady in the exact same spot. So you only have to do this once, especially if you're making a lot of cards. Well, that looks like it might be right where I need it to be. So we're going to pick her up. Put this back. Make sure my card's in the bottom. Make sure that's in the bottom. And then we're going to ink up just her bottom and her foot. You know, that's what we're looking at. We're trying to line up those parts. Make sure we're all positioned right. Oops, come on. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, see, that looks good. We've got the heel on there. We got her bum right on that line. So that's going to be perfect. I don't need to move her. Just wipe off my little clear piece. Set that aside. Now we're going to magnet that down. And now we're going to ink her up all the way. So we can get her nice and inky. Nice light tapping. You want to tap in layers, okay? Rotate your pad. Sometimes there's little divots in there, although the VersaFine Claire, I don't know if there's a divot in there. It's got a pretty flat surface. We've got a nice solid coverage, so this should stamp perfectly the first time. Now, I don't mind that the wings and the leaf overlap because I feel her wings would be see-through. So we're going to color right where they meet a lighter color green and then do the shimmer over her wings. And that should make it really, really cool. And there she is. Oh, look at that. Beautiful stamping on the first go round. I am going to hand block the two critters on. I just think being able to pull it close to me and look at it is going to be a little bit quicker than trying to line up. Now, same thing. We're going to ink this up, and I can see I didn't get it very inky in the middle of the squirrel. There we go. And the rock formation has a nice deep black area. So I'm just going to pull this really close to me and I'm going to line these up. And even if you're shaky, you can do this too. And we're just reaching out. No wiggling or anything. We just want it down and straight up. And see, that's beautiful. Okay. And now we're going to get our little rabbit. Oops. We're going to ink that one up too. Nice and juicy. And we're going to put our rabbit on this back one here. Now, with the rabbit, we have a back foot and a front foot. That front foot we don't want on the line. We want on the rock. We want this back foot on the line. Because if we put this foot, it'll look like he's kind of being weird. Okay, so we want that back foot on the line. Just like so. Okay. So our rock and the rabbit should overlap. Okay. Just like that. Like he's sitting there with his foot dangling off. Because if I backed him up, there would be a weird gap there. And I didn't really want that weird gap. Okay. Let me clean up and I'll be right back. Alright, everything's all nice and cleaned up, so now we can color. So I've got my gray and my white, and I'm just going to go over the rabbit and the squirrel. And that is because I don't really want them black. So we're just going to lighten them up a little bit. And then we have a gray squirrel instead of a black squirrel. Actually, I think I'll add a little bit of brown to the bunny. Just so they don't look like twinsies. I'm liking that. There we go. Much better. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and just use the colors I showed, a light, medium, and a dark for my rocks, a light, medium, and dark for my flowers, and a light, medium, dark for my leaves. And I'll zoom through that section, and I'll see you on the other end. There we have it. It's all colored up. She's looking good. If you get your little crumbs from your colored pencils, oil-based, wax-based, doesn't matter what kind of colored pencil it is, you may want to invest in a dollar store blender makeup brush just to dust it off, because if you wipe it, your heat of the hand will melt those colors right into your page. So you just want to dust them off. And look, I forgot one. So all I did was I went through with the purple and the red to darken up my areas, because this is not white paper anymore. I've toned it with a blue. So doing a traditional light, medium, dark of the same color, you're not gonna get the results you want. So I opted for purple to make my darker shadowy colors, mixed with a little bit of red, just to help the orange blend in better. And even now you can tell that's not actually orange. Let me get a little scrap of paper and I'll show you. Okay, so that's the traditional color that we're using right off of the white. So you can color on colored paper, just know it's going to change it. And if you're not sure how the colors are going to look, you're going to take your little scrap, you'll blend your background color. So for me it was the blue. I would blend that blue on and then try my pencils over the top of it and see what comes from it. Okay, and I figured since I was doing all of it, that's why I did this part with that little bit of gray, just to help get it toned quicker, because you know it's a big rustic looking rock, so we want to do that. All right, now you can be done. Trim and put on your card. or you can add some accents. And that is where I thought my glitter pen would come in handy. Make sure it's rolling, and I'm just gonna add some dots to the cone part of my flower. Okay. And if you don't have glitter pen, your white gel pen would do just fine. Or if you have a silver Sharpie, you know, you can use whatever you have. You can even spot it up with a different shade of colored pencils like we did for the squirrel and raccoon. Squirrel and rabbit. No teeny raccoons. Not yet anyways, right? Alright. Now I do want to shimmer her wings, but not with the gel pen. And I do want to add some highlights to my flowers. And I just noticed she's got little flowers in her hair. And I have pink Nuvo drops, crystal drops, Nuvo drops, enamel drops, whatever you have handy. And I'm going to give it a squeeze and a pull just to make sure it's coming out good. I'm just going to do a little dollop there. Should go straight up and down. Give a little push. Just to add a little extra bling. And of course I did this. I always do that. I'm going to have to wait for it to dry before I trim it. That's alright. And then we're going to grab our shimmer. If you have a shimmer pen, use that. If you have shimmer or watercolors, you can use those. I'm dusting off my sparkle pot from Spectrum Noir. And you just give it a little shake. There's a little ball in there to help get that mica pulled out. And grab a watercolor brush. Here we go. I'm just going to reach in there and grab some of that. And then just paint some shimmer on her wings. Right over the leaf, because remember, her wings are see-through. Now the blue ink I used, my background is a water-based, which means it will activate a little bit if I get it wet. So I'm not blending and smooshing. I'm just kind of tapping the Spectrum sparkle right on top so it doesn't affect anything below it. Even with my colored pencils, I'm not sure how they're going to react to water. So I'm just going to tap my color in. And maybe she's got a little bit of shimmer in her hair too, because she's sparkly. And then our little fairy here, just add some sparkle there, maybe to her little dress. Okay, and that is that, my friends. I'm gonna let that dry and I'll get back to you, have all this cleaned up, and we'll just mount that card and be done. So our card is all nice and dry, and now we can trim this down to fit in our card base. And it looks like I need to take a teeny bit off the top because it got all mangled up there, and a little bit off the bottom and this side, because the blue really shows in my rock. And I think it will be fabulous. So I'm going to turn this way, and I'm going to take a 1/4 inch off. So we're going to go from 5.5 to 5 1/4. Boom. And then we're going to take a little bit off the top and a little bit off the bottom. So I'm going to make sure my paper is between the 4 and 4 1/4. And we're going to flip her around, and this time line it up at the 4-inch mark. Just like so. And we have a beautifully cropped picture. And then you can decide if you want to do pop dots or foam adhesive on the back to lift this off your card base, or if you're going to make it nice and flat, easy mailing right to your card base. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to get my Barely Art glue, get it nice and flowy here. And you don't need it super thick. If you have a fancy glue, Barely Art glue, glitter art glue, reptile glue, this one's got a little goo in there, all of those are good quality glues. And mine is a little bit cloggy. That's all right, because it's still coming out. You don't need to push too hard, and you don't need a ton. A nice little amount will do wonders. And we're just gonna pop that on there. Don't squish it down till you're sure of its placement, and it looks pretty good. Flip it over, give a nice press, and there you have it. One finished lovely card, a little conversation with the critters. How adorable. Again, all the supplies will be listed down below in the description for the rabbit, the squirrel, azalea, the flower, and the fairy, the little fairy, if you're interested. She's great for hide-in boo-boos, guys, and our rock formation. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Be sure to subscribe to Fairy Stamper Videos channel so you can see other beautiful creators using their products. And if you like my work, be sure to check out my channel. I do other fun stuff over on Elizabeth Costa Rogers' channel. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.